Hi everyone, and welcome to another evening discussion. And we have special guests with me this evening, and they'll be introduced. To remember, the topic for tonight is strong men, strong women. Why can't we all get along? So, see you in a bit as I do my countdown. Hi, every, Hi everyone, and welcome to CNJ Let We Talk. On this program, I bring up different issues or different topics that are relevant to our daily life. And what we have been having a lot in the news of seeing individuals or situations wherein women are not treated the way they ought to be treated. Now, I'm a woman and I have my viewpoint on the different areas, but I didn't want to just leave it at my viewpoint alone because yesterday we spoke about having strong women, independent women, and why is it that if they're in a bad relationship and something goes wrong and they decide to leave, why is it that sometimes the men can't allow them to leave? Why is it that something normally happens? We looked on the things that sometimes maybe it's their parents, maybe they are not training their sons the way they ought to be trained, but there are other things that could be causing this to happen. So I have two men and two women with me this evening that will be giving me their viewpoint as to why they think this is happening. All right. And I may have a third gentleman as well. And we'll see as the time progresses how the conversation goes. So welcome to another evening of CNJ Let We Talk. Remember to share this with other persons so our community can grow as we discuss different things for us to have a greater understanding. If we don't talk about it, can't change. All right. So I'm going to welcome my guests at this time. And let me see who is with me here in the studio. I have one man and one lady, with two men and two ladies with me right now. And I'm going to add them to the stream at this time. So welcome, Roy. How are you this evening?
I am not bad. I'm not bad. I'm doing okay. Happy.
Very Thank you for being with me this evening. And could you tell what are your first views? Why is it with just like a one sentence? Why is it that strong men and strong women can't get along?
I believe that we can't get along because of the mindset. How men are socialized.
Mm-hmm.
To begin with, yeah, men are socialized to be explosive,
Mm-hmm.
not unable to express themselves, and that is the reason, constant storing earth inside.
So you're
It will
saying it starts with a mindset. A
right,
mindset.
right.
Okay,
So
so let me
it
see if I
gets
can
you.
get someone else in to see to that. I'm going to add another young man at this time. And he's let me welcome O'Brien. O'Brien, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Very good. From what, just one sentence, why you think is the issue? Why strong men and strong women, they can't just get along, and when a relationship ends, they can't just walk away. Just one sentence for our opener right now.
They hold strong to what they believe in. No mutuality.
Okay, I'm not hearing you clearly. I'm not hearing you clearly.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Right, I'm saying there is a lack of mutuality, which makes it very difficult for them to see eye to eye and get along.
Okay, so I'm hearing from Mr. Kedra that it's a mindset, and you're saying that they're just not seeing, they're not compatible, they're not seeing eye to eye, and that is why they're not getting along. All right, we're going to explore that a little more later on, but I'm going to bring a female in to join us so we can have an even discussion at this point. So, Tarika, welcome to the conversation. Welcome. And with us,
Thank
just a sentence, could you tell me why is it that strong men and strong women, when they end a relationship, they can't just walk away to their separate corners and just wish each other well?
The miscommunication.
Communication. Communication. Okay, so we're just not talking. So I think you and Brian, you're kind of saying the same thing. So could each person just expand on your conversation? Why is it that in our country that we love so much, we hear every day of so many individuals that at the end of their relationship, I think we heard when a man went and he went to the lady's place of work and totally and she did not live out that experience. We have heard of women being found in bushes, and after investigation we're hearing that is because of some relationship that has ended. So you guys are saying it's a mindset, they're not communicating well. But what, just expand on that for me, please. Anyone?
All right. For me, what I would say is this also lingers from the past, also going all the way back to slavery days. Remember, we were never encouraged to have families sticking together.
Oh, so you're saying from the start, they're not thinking that families should stick together. That
No,
wasn't a priority.
we have a very deep baggage
Oh, okay.
from
Okay.
slavery.
Okay. Okay. All right. So their priority is not that there's too much happening on the outside of the relationship that is causing inside of the relationship not to work. Okay. Let me hear from Kedroy.
All right. I really want to be general with this. We're concerning everybody needs to be treated with respect. Respect is the whole thing, right? So for me, respect would be do not doing things to others that you wouldn't want them to do to you, or being mindful of others, putting yourself in the same in their shoes. And an
Mm-hmm.
example of that, where I am a man and I do everything for myself, like cooking, washing, cleaning, and all those things. So, and at the end of the day, I know that that is very tiring. So, I can imagine the female or the women, in
Mm-hmm.
such situation. I know that it would be very strenuous on them, especially if they have to work as well.
Oh,
So,
so you're understanding the woman's point of view because
ex-
you try to ensure that you are able to do all the things for yourself.
exactly, right? Because I know that as a man, we are more physical, right? Muscular.
Mm-hmm.
I think we should be able to deal with or do things
Mm-hmm.
easier than female. However,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what going on in the house. I mean, the female tend to do everything, or
Yeah.
that's the whole thing. So I don't want to go into the role of the men and the women in the house, but as far as I know, for me personal, if I am
Hmm.
going with somebody and you care about them, you definitely have to be mindful, put yourself in their shoes, and
Mm-hmm.
be fair to them, right? Show them respect. That is really respect for me. But the problem though is the fact that the men socialize in a way where they the mind get
Mm-hmm.
messed up because they constantly being hurt and they have this feeling inside. And I mean, having this feeling inside will mess up your mind. Like constant abuse, it will
Yeah.
affect you in some way. And solution for all of this for me is that we need to take our men, our boys to church from them born,
Okay.
right?
Okay. So you're saying men need to have a more spiritual experience. They need to have a relationship with God so that they
Right,
understand. They understand themselves.
right,
Okay, I
exactly.
understand that. I understand that. Okay. All right, good, thank you. And I think I've heard your argument. You try to understand things from what the woman would be going through, what they're feeling, and you're saying that a lot of more men need to understand that, need to put themselves in on the side and understand things from the female perspective. Okay, all right. Uh, Terika.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, all right, good. What do you say about what Mr. Grant just said?
I totally agree with him.
So if
because
men were understanding more about what women were going through, we would be in a better position.
yes, but not only that too, respecting someone and what they have to say counts a lot. It goes for both men and women.
Not you're not coming through very clearly. We're not hearing you clearly, Terika. I don't know why.
I'm saying that respecting each other goes a
Mm-hmm.
very long way in making a
Mm-hmm.
relationship work.
All right, good. If the respect is not there, so you're saying that if the respect is there during the relationship, if something happens and the relationship ends, you're saying that
Respect
respect
should
will.
still continue.
All
So you
right,
shouldn't
good.
be getting all violent and this anger that has been building up from somewhere
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't
Okay.
be like that.
Okay. We want to welcome another person with us this evening. Two other individuals. We have Randy, who is with us. Thank you for being with us, Randy. And we also
I'm
have
good.
Pauline. We also have Pauline with us, and they will also share their opinion. So uh, uh, I'm asking Randy, and then I'm going to ask Pauline to comment. Why is it, in your opinion, that when women and men in the relationship, that both persons can't go to their own, continue with their lives without it being disruptive for either party?
All right. Good evening, folks. This is my view, and nothing more than my view. Most persons in relationship invest their time and
Mm-hmm.
think it is or will be a return on time, whether it be monetarily, psychologically, physically.
Mm-hmm.
So when the referee steps in and say, go to your respective corner, they're still
Mm-hmm.
babbling. They're
Yes.
still boxing instead of going to your corner and sit.
Mm-hmm.
Because the investment put in is not, or the returns that is gained is not what you were looking for.
So they're saying, I have invested my time in you. So you're not
Yeah,
going to be in a better position now, and then you're going to give all of that to
walk away.
somebody else.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
I see
that's that's
somebody has
that's the
commented. I think you asked, tell me if you agree with what this person has said. She says some men develop a mindset of ownership over time, and their identity is wrapped up in the ownership of the woman as their property. Therefore, to lose their woman appears to be a loss of themselves.
all right. Yes and no.
Okay.
Yes and no. Why I say yes or no, men tend to try to own women, yes, but it also go vice versa, where
Mm-hmm.
women try to own men. I've seen situation where a man have gone out for a drink with a buddy, and his
Mm-hmm.
woman called him like 15 times in less than half an hour.
Yes.
15 times in less than half an hour because he's out having a drink with a friend.
Why do you think she does that? Is it because she's wondering what
It's
he's out there doing?
no, it is normally a trust issue.
Yes.
It's normally a trust issue. And I can tell you this straight off the bat. One of the reasons some man can let go is that they believe that all right, 9 out of 10 men who have this problem is one who invested his life in this woman, i.e., is at a particular educational value, but the
Yeah.
woman is at a higher educational value than he is. So
Yeah.
he sent this woman to school,
Yes.
hoping that this woman will carry the family. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when this woman reached to her peak, she
Yeah.
find another guy who is up there, who is now
Yeah.
telling her how beautiful she is. And
Yeah.
the boy there yard now have no use, and she don't remember. Say the days when she never have it. It was that man
Yeah.
who had carried her through the whole ordeal of being broke,
Mm-hmm.
sacrifice, and have her on a pedestal. Most women don't remember that, and not they should, but think about it as a woman. Would you like your son to send a woman to school, and when it's all done, she move on, dust her clothes off, and leave him as the
So
poor
my
thing on the
question to
side.
you is this then. I'm going to ask Pauline to comment on this. I hear what you're saying, and a lot of that is an argument I hear a lot. That a lot of men invest in women, and then when they have achieved what they want to achieve,
Bad
they move
investment.
on to somebody else.
Bad
And then that
investment.
is why the man gets angry.
Yes. Because, all right, I can say this. 9 out of 10 men who invest in women's education never reaps any of the benefit.
Wow. Wow.
Never reap any of the benefit.
So you're saying that is what is okay. Let me hear from the woman. I hear you, Randy, and we're going to go back. We're going to discuss that same point. Pauline, what do you have to say about the point that is being made right now? That one of the reasons why sometimes men cannot leave or walk away and just continue with his life is because he may have invested so much in this woman. And as soon as she has achieved what she wants to achieve, she has gone off to something else.
Good evening, everyone. I hear Randy, but the reality of it is that men are sexually committed to a woman. Why I say that is because most times men do not want to be in a position where there's somebody else who is dealing with the person that they are with or was along with. So they have a problem there. Secondly, men need to realize that women are not possession. We're not somebody that you own. We're not somebody that you invest into. When we enter a relationship, we enter a partnership. We're going to do it together. And I'm going to speak from personal experience. All right? Because in terms of the relationship, when a woman reaches a certain stage, sometimes the men, like in my situation, believe that you have outgrown them when you actually want to continue to grow with them. And I find that they develop a sense of insecurity in the relationship and believing that, I mean, she's better than me. She's not going to want me. She has achieved her masters. She's going to move forward. She's going to propel ahead of me, and I feel belittled as a man. And that's the reality of what exists out there from a psychological perspective.
Okay, hold on, Pauline. I think Randy wants to make a little point on that, but Randy, hold on and till Pauline. She'll soon give you a chance.
From a psychological perspective, men have unearthed within themselves this the sense of being in charge all the time. And he made a point about a woman calling a man while he's at the bar. But it goes back, as Claudia had said, about trust and what he has done in the past. Women tend to be very committed. I don't know about women not being committed to a relationship.
That's not fair.
All right, hold on. We all have our different experience. Remember, Randy,
I don't know about women
experience.
not being committed to a relationship. But women will not stay in a relationship where they're being abused or belittled. They're going to seek other sources of outlet. And that's when the man starts to lose the woman.
Okay, all right, let me hear what Randy's rearing to go.
All right, go ahead, Randy.
Let me hear. Pauline, do you think a woman can take the place of a man?
In terms of, you're talking about sexuality now?
Not sexuality. I'm talking about the position that is ordained by God for a man. Do you think a woman can take a man's position?
If he wants to let it up, because guess what?
Don't answer it. It's a direct question.
I'm going to tell you yes. I'm going to tell you yes. Why? Because in Finland, the country is run by a woman and it's very efficiently.
Stop. Pauline, that doesn't make
let her finish.
Let me say it now. Let me say it. Let me say it. And we're talking about leadership role. That's what you just spoke to.
I asked you if a woman can take a man's position.
All right,
in leadership
relationship,
in the Bible.
You're talking in the marriage relationship.
Overall, a man's position.
So what is no?
Leadership
Before
is not a
Pauline
man's
answers,
position, you know. Don't get it
before
wrong, you know.
Pauline answers, let me ask you what is your definition of a man's position?
Man's
All right.
position, because a man's
A man
position
is,
is a man
can
who's supposed
can
to
I
just
answer
be
it?
a man in. No, hold on a
Can
second.
I
Let me
answer
just
it?
ask. Yes,
She's
you
giving her
will, but
all right, Randy. She's
if
going
you
to give
look
her
at
a
it from a
definition of a man's
biblical,
position.
then look at it from a biblical perspective as well as in the church, you see. And it's believed
Yes.
that men are supposed to preach. So give me your
No,
answer.
the Bible never tell you that. Nowhere in the Bible you can find that and point that out to me.
I can.
Been there, done that. There's nowhere in the Bible
I'm going
that
to
it
do, I'm going
says
to
to a
Google it
man
now.
in the
Okay,
Bible.
she's going to search
Yes,
for it.
do that.
You're saying it's
Right.
not there, but
All
what
right.
is your
I'm going to tell
definition,
you this.
Randy, of a man's position?
A man is a father. First, a man is a son.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
True boyhood, he grew up, he becomes a husband.
Man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He becomes a pioneer in whatever trades he accepts as his own. And
Mm-hmm.
further on, becomes a father.
Mm-hmm.
None of these positions that I've named out, a woman can take. So don't see a woman achieving a position in a company as taking a man's role. No, that's not taking a man's role. That's a societal role. A man is the head of a family, not the head of a business.
But all right, Randy, let me ask a question. You're saying
Yeah.
what you believe a man's role is. So when
A
the
man,
relationship ends, if something
Exactly.
happens
Continue.
and the relationship, both of you have come to a decision that the woman has come to a decision that this relationship, because of whatever factor, is not working for me. Why is it now that a man
Give
cannot
up his
go
role.
his own, give up the role as you are saying, and go and
because
find somewhere
men
else?
And
are
then
egotists.
Randy, hold on a
Can't invest
second.
it.
Wait, before you answer, make sure you're correct. Give up his role, and not only give up his role as a father, and I'm a living example of that, but also give up his financial responsibility
All right.
totally to the woman.
I can answer
Why?
that question from my perspective.
Okay.
Pauline, I don't think you're alone in being hurt by somebody in any way or form, because I'm a living testament of being there, done that. Yeah. And I've never gotten as angry as some guys have, because I was brought up in the admiration of God, and to say that a woman have the right to decide. But as you say, no, it's not a decision for you alone, Pauline. You are in a relationship. It must be an amicable solution to the problem. And if there's a problem, there should be a sit down and a talking to and a talking through. At times, the relationship can be over and you're still in the same space. And don't even realize that the relationship is over. You know?
All right. I
Understand?
get your point. I want to go back to the point of the biblical perspective, according to 1 Timothy 2, verses 12. I do not permit a woman to teach or exercise authority
And
over
who
a
said
man.
that? Who said that?
I'm reading
Who
in the
said that?
Bible.
Who wrote that?
Allow her to give it, and then after she's done,
You
you give
said
your
that you didn't find it in the Bible any at all.
But I'm saying to you, this is the opinion of
hold
Paul
on.
to Timothy.
Listen, I'm going on, it's several doctrines, several of them. Be it Paul or whosoever, it's biblically written. So you're saying that nowhere in the Bible is found, and here I'm seeing several
let me clarify
Bible
that.
verses.
Jesus never tell you that.
Better qualify then.
We're going into a different
qualified.
discussion right now. We're going into a different discussion right now, Pauline and Randy, because remember, we need to stay on track. Wait, because we can have that discussion at another time, but we need to stay on track on why is it that so many men are not able to walk away. Randy is saying that he has had his experience and he did not go to the level that some men have gone to. He has that self-control for that. Pauline is also saying she has been through her experiences as well, and she had to take the position, Randy, that you're saying that women should not take. She had to take that position.
I have to think like a man.
Yeah, that's why
I'm not saying she should not take a position of leadership in her family, Don't get me wrong,
No, man.
But a woman cannot be a husband. A woman cannot be a father.
I'm not the
Are you
role
understanding what I'm saying?
it's gender role and responsibility that you're coming to, We're looking at how women and men function, and they function differently. When
Yes,
a
because men
woman
are egotistic and a woman is emotional.
Okay, let us
exactly,
see if
when
we
a
can get
woman
somebody else from the panel in this. I like how you're
yes,
discussing.
man.
I don't want you to stop that. But I want to just get somebody else's view on this. Terika, what is your view on the discussion as it has been so far?
Well, I would say that we women see things differently.
Right, we do.
And
We do.
we we are also biblical too. And we will
Hmm.
support husbands as long as they treat us well.
Yes.
But it's when you become abusive, things just have to
Hmm.
change. It
Right.
cannot
Is abuse
remain.
only physical, Teresa?
No, it's
No,
Is
not.
man.
abuse only
Mental,
physical?
No, it's
She's
emotional.
not
talking any type of
physical.
abuse in the relationship.
It's
You don't
All
have
right,
to
I'm
have
going
emotional.
to ask a
anybody for
question.
it to be abused.
Can I ask a question to you ladies?
All
Sure.
Do
right.
you have
On a
another
scale
man?
of 1 to 10, how abusive are you to your spouse?
Whoa, whoa, Randy, you're going there.
Abuse does
You're
goes
going
both
there.
Yes,
ways.
it's a direct. All right.
All right, hold on. Let me
The
hear
reason for
from. I
this,
have two other men on here. Randy, as soon as you're
I
finished
would say
saying your
I would
statement.
say 0. I can
All
zero.
right,
say
Then
Randy,
you
0.
are
go ahead.
dishonest.
Yes.
You are a dishonest person right there.
I'm
All right.
telling you up front, I can say 0
All right,
because
Pauline
I
and
do
Randy,
have a
let me
man
get
in
the view
my
of
life.
somebody else. Let me get the view
Mr. John
Okay.
Joe. Mr. John Joe.
O'Brien. O'Brien, what do you have to say on the discussion so far? O'Brien. Not hearing you, O'Brien.
I I don't want to go in much what they are talking about, but I just want to get to the point that it's lack of fear for God. Lack of fear for God, and
Hmm.
we don't understand. Look here, we don't want certain things to happen to us, so why doing it to others?
Hmm.
And I mean, we allow
Exactly.
our emotion to
Hmm.
get the best of us, and because of that,
I think
that's what the main reason why. And then men hormones is different from the female hormone, so those are some of the reasons for the reaction of some of the men. But you see, when you fear the Lord and you respect others,
Everything is different.
you wouldn't want
Hmm.
somebody to kill you or abuse. I know that women
Brian,
No, he's
we
not.
are
That is not
more
O'Brien
physical.
talking. It's Kedroy. Kedroy
We
talking.
are more physical,
Kedron,
So I would say that sometimes we abuse our power because we are more, muscular and all of that.
Stronger.
But I mean, you should be able to walk away. Don't take advantage of the weak, And
Kedron,
yes,
Kedron,
yes,
have
sir.
a woman ever call you worthless?
Well, if she wants to call me
Yes
name,
or no? Yes or no?
I can't recall, but I would have been taught down to by.
Are you married, Kedroy? Or
No,
in a
no, no, no.
relationship?
Well, not at the
Ked-
moment.
All right. You have been in a relationship, right?
Sure, sure.
All right. In a relationship with a woman and things get a little heated, what is the first thing is done by a woman?
Well, I
She
mean,
cry.
No, she becomes flippant and she starts to talk and talk to hurt her spouse. Verbal abuse is what a woman uses as her defense against men. Men will be quiet for a while, very quiet, very attentive. But over time, some men becomes abusive, not giving a
Oh,
man the right to become
we should have
abusive.
done that.
and not
But
everybody react the same, because some
no,
women would walk away, and that is one of my
some man can
experience.
walk away.
Right, both ways.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you something. I've seen in the past where uh, disagreement, simple disagreement
Hmm.
from a TV show. A woman started to disrespect her spouse. On disrespecting the spouse, he sat there and he took it. He took it like a man. But she continued on for three
So
days.
the point
For
still,
3 days.
is
All right,
why is it
Randy.
that
Randy, we
the man
Yeah.
understand that in
cannot
relationships,
walk
problems will
away?
occur. We
Yes,
understand
but
that.
I'm
Why is
saying
it that
In
the
verbal
man
abuse.
relationships, there will be
cannot
women
walk
doing something
away?
that may be wrong, man doing something that is wrong. My, the,
Here,
the, the point of the discussion
The
right now
thing
that
is
I
that
really want to get from you
we
is,
don't
why?
need to go to the brute force. Isn't that it,
yes,
Claudia? We don't
yeah,
need to get physical.
No, we don't
We
need to
have
go
to
there.
get
There's
No.
no
mental. We have
there
to
Let's go
is
get
back to
no need
mental
for
parenting.
you.
and
That's where I'm coming. It has something to do with as we were discussing
Parenting.
before, Claudia,
yeah.
sometime this week, that it has to do with the culture of the home. When we are growing up, our boys and the girls, I only have girls, so I don't really know how to train
Yeah.
boys.
And Randy only has boys. Yes.
And when a boy hit a girl,
I'm lovely
they
boys.
say, oh, it's
Don't
because
Claudia.
Wonderful
it's
boys. You
because
have wonderful boys. Yes.
it's because you like the boy like her, and I'm like, you have to train your boys not to hit the girls,
So
and
let me
Vice
ask
that's
versa.
where
let
it
me
comes
ask
down
Randy
to.
this. Let me ask Randy this. Because he's the only one on the panel right now that has boys. Everybody else has girls. So let me ask you, Randy,
Mm.
when your young men, how are you training them as to how they should treat women
Treat
or
women.
how they treat their female friends and so on?
Don't hit nobody unless they hit you first.
So if a girl hit him first, he
Certainly,
should hit her back.
she should never hit him. Train your girl not to hit him.
And you're training your boys that if a girl hit him, he should
Don't
hit her
hit.
right
Uh,
back.
listen to me, Claudia. Listen to me right here, right now.
Yes.
Don't give what you
You
can't
getting
take
me?
back. Don't you
Oh
give
boy,
that
oh
you
boy,
can't
oh
take
boy,
back.
oh boy,
Don't
oh
hit
boy, oh
if
boy.
you can't be hit.
So you
Agreed?
Hey,
tell your so
Randy,
you're saying right now,
Randy,
you tell your boys
Yes,
Randy, you're
ma'am.
sounding like my
Yes, ma'am.
ex-husband.
her back.
Huh?
You're sounding like my ex-husband.
But if you hit me, you open a door to be hit.
You're
Why are
sounding
you
like
hitting
an
a
ex.
grown person? We
Exactly.
should be having a
That is.
discussion, not a beat down.
All right,
No,
thank you.
no,
Let
no,
me
no,
let me
no.
hear let me hear a young man. Let me hear. So I'm
Yes.
going to ask Brian first. What do you think about what Randy just said? That he tells his son, if a girl hits
I
you,
don't agree with Randy at all,
hold on, Tony. Let me
personally.
hear from O'Brien. He hasn't been able to say anything. O'Brien, I think O'Brien may be having some technical issues. Are you able to talk, O'Brien? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I need to add him again to the stream. Sorry. Yes, go ahead, O'Brien.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we are.
Right. I'll the let's say the concept beyond how Randy puts the package would sound a bit aggressive, but the truth, in fact, that we should all be able to mutually agree on is that the golden rule applies to everyone. Do unto
Yes.
others as you have them do unto you.
Want to you.
I mean, in any case where hands start being thrown from any party, the truth is that becomes abusive relationship. And the
Mm-hmm.
Right.
means upon provocation, some persons are low high tempered, some are peaceful. Not everyone's going to respond the same way. I mean, if I get hit by a girl, it immediately tells me that I don't think I should be investing my time there. I don't appreciate that.
Fair
So
enough.
So
having
Depends on
said
how
the
you
fact,
be hit
sometimes
to a
I
girl.
would
it
leave
become
it.
abusive. You get
Right,
out of
I
that
would leave that
relationship.
alone. Right. But in any other case, I know there would be guys out there that are very aggressive. And even if he happens to retaliate that abusive way, it's really just as a matter of self defense. Because the truth is, if me see a lady come towards me with a pot of hot water, I have to go figure out a way for either help myself I run. Right?
Mm.
Run,
I one or
run
the
is a
other.
latter. Run is a latter.
Okay, let me hear what Kedroy has to say about that point. Because I need to hear from the three men about what how Randy is training these boys. If she hit you, hit her right back. Kedroy, what you have to say?
well, I don't support. I really don't support. I would not advise my child to do such thing. It
So would
all
you tell your
depends.
child a
Hold
woman
on,
beating
Randy.
you, you would
Randy,
beat
allow him
down?
to talk. Allow him to talk,
Well, I
Randy.
mean, it must have a reason, and I mean, if somebody it my son, right, and you are not going to use a certain force back at the person. You have other means of dealing with the matter. You say something, you make a complaint, and I don't believe if they are in a relationship now, that's a different thing where they have to communicate and something is going bad where one person is abusing the other person. I mean, look here, I am an adult, and if I have to put my hand on a female, I rather to leave because I'm not dealing with that child. You understand? But
Thank you very much. I
yeah,
agree.
that's different something.
I
And
agree with you, sir, to an extent.
Randy, can I speak, please? I sent from growing up.
I'm going to allow you to speak next, Pauline. I just wanted to say that Sabrina in the chat is saying our sons need to learn a different way. Hitting is never acceptable. You can go ahead,
But
Pauline.
if you hit
That is
the
so
boy
true.
or
That
the
is so
man,
true.
why are you telling him not to hit back if you did not hit first?
But hold on.
Are you
Randy,
understanding what I'm saying?
I am coming back
let me
to
just say
something that
Randy. Pauline and Randy, hold on 1 minute. Pauline and Randy, hold on 1 minute. What we're saying, Randy, is this. Our boys need to be taught a different way to deal with
need to
situations.
be cultured differently.
Even though you're saying to the point that they need to know how to defend themselves. I think that is what you're saying. That our boys
The
should not
cycle
just
will
have women
continue.
just hitting them. But we're saying that what we should be treating them is that, yes, you're not going to sit back and say, let yourself be abused. But what Kenroy said, he's not going to stay in I think it's O'Brien and Kenroy. They're saying that they're not going to remain in a relationship where the woman is abusive. But Sabrina is also saying what we need to be teaching them is how to deal with different situations and let them realize that physical hitting and so on is never the right solution.
Physical hitting is wrong, no matter the gender.
And that is why I wanted everybody to understand that you're
no
not
matter the gender.
promoting
Physical hitting.
fighting.
I'm not promoting hitting.
Yeah,
I'm
you're not
saying
promoting
after
that.
the
But you're
fact.
saying you don't want anybody to abuse your son.
No, I'm not telling him to lay down and be abused.
Yeah.
I
you
am
don't
saying
want
to
them
you
to be
no.
in a relationship with any woman that is going to abuse them.
Abuse you.
Or for them to think that it's okay to be in a relationship where a
you
woman
guys may be getting this wrong from me,
That's why I wanted to clear that up for you.
I am saying to you, I don't hit women. I don't hit women.
Yeah.
However, I will not allow a woman.
No, man, Paul, he's not. No, he's not.
Let me tell you this, Pauline. Simi and coming with me are two different things.
Yeah.
But this is my point of view. You see, if you don't want to be hit, don't hit.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be hated, don't hate. If you don't want to be racially abused, don't racially abuse nobody. Because it's going to come back at you.
All right. I just wanted to make
that as well. She's only
I want to make a point about growing up, my growing up. And I realized that despite, and maybe that's why I look at relationship the way I do, it's the culture of my home. I'm getting back to culture. Because my mom and my dad will have heated argument that never yet end up in fights. And yet at the end of the argument, my dad would be the one who say, honey, you want a cup of tea? That was the climate I grew up in. That kind of environment where
that's what you grow to expect.
You're socialized to say people will have differences, but at the end of the day, we are one and we will agree to disagree. There was never a physical fight in my home, and they would have heated arguments. And I am cultured to believe that we can have that conversation where we agree to disagree and move on, because we are in a relationship where the relationship to us is more important than the foolish argument that we just have.
Let me ask a question for anybody on the panel now. Since we are saying that there are so many couples nowadays that their arguments lead to fighting, is it that both of them don't have the requisite skills to argue the point on a level? Is it that we're not equipped to actually have a debate, and that we have to, when we don't know what to say, it ends up in a physical fight? Is that the reason why that is happening?
Yes, it comes back to your education. to educational capabilities. And just as how told you about, I was going to look at the WHO website, it come back to your, whether you're the level of education that you have in terms of how you're able to communicate and deal with conflict. Because conflict will always be there. You're two different persons.
Yeah.
And you're not the same. And you're coming from two different environments. So, and socially, you're brought up differently. So there are certain things that the two of you will not agree on. And there are things that you will agree on because they're socially acceptable. But we have to understand that we are different.
Okay, well,
Two
let me hear
different
from Randy.
persons.
Pauline, let's go back to the Bible. On choosing a partner, the Bible said, be not unequally yoked. This can mean so many different things. Yeah. And one of the things that I take from this, if I'm Baptist, I'll not go and look at Seventh-day Adventist woman because we're going to have problem with the one pitney or two pitney. Because me want him to be sunbat and she want him to be Sabbath. Right? No.
I beg to disagree.
Again, if we have problems on the
because the two of us are Christians.
Yeah,
and that's
we are
what I
Christians,
see
but
the religion as.
you know,
because
me
I
and you
have
as
a
Sunday
couple.
worshippers.
Guys, you can't talk over each other. Let me hear Randy finish your point and then Pauline, and then we'll ask others to join in.
I'm saying that when it comes down to religion teaches denominations, teaches differently. So that child will become confused over time. That child will rebel in somewhere, somehow, because he's not fully fathoming what he's getting from both denominations. So when that even go down the road, because they're on different conversation. What am I saying? That we should grow our children in such a way that they can reason with anybody at any time about anything. I got two boys, and I can tell you this. I try not to allow them to become physical in a discussion. Yeah, when the physicality comes up, I step in as a father. No, trash it out by talking, and I'm not getting involved. You are two boys, talk it out. Yeah, this is what parenting is for me. If most of our parents had sit and talk to us as boys to talk out our feelings, then our men wouldn't be so short-tempered and quick to hit.
Okay.
It
all right.
is that level of
get into what this discussion really is supposed to be about.
Exactly.
You're saying what you have been doing in your home with your sons is that when they're having disagreements and you see it going to get to a physical stage, you step in as the father and say, we have to discuss this. So that they learn from
boys
a young
have to discuss it. I'll sit there and listen.
Okay.
You're the mediator.
Allow them to deal with it.
Okay. All right, good. So you allow them while you are there to just be able to, you know, and let them.
I'm the invigilator. They're on exams.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So when you hear me say, if a girl hit my son, you should hit her back. Don't get it wrong.
Yeah.
This is just drawing a line in the sand.
Yeah. Because you're making the point that they should realize that they should not stay in a relationship where they're being hit.
Yes.
All right. Okay. All right, Pauline, you were making the point about going to different churches, even though we're Christian, different denominations.
I just want to say that I have a couple in my church that actually, well, the man come to our church and the lady is a Seventh-day Adventist. And they don't have a problem from time to time. She comes and he doesn't even visit her church, but the relationship is amicable. And I've had situations where the parent, well, I'm a teacher. So I know that the parents say, I am a 7-day, is that they are married, but the children go to church twice on a Saturday and on a Sunday. And there's not a problem.
That is burden to the children?
It keep them out of trouble.
Not necessarily.
But it helps them with their socialization because some of the programs that are at the Seventh-day Adventist church are not in the Sunday church. So there are certain cultures, there are certain groups that they are able to be a part of that will teach them and nurture them. And in all honesty, both the Sunday worshiper and the Saturday worshiper, they're talking about Christ. I don't see them speaking to any other being. So if
okay,
there's a
I'm going to go ahead and cut this This is another topic I'm getting lots of information that we can have other discussions on. And I really love the interchange between Pauline and Randy. So I'm loving it. But I just wanted to read something from Sabrina. She said our girls are being grown in an empowered society. And so our
Yes.
boys need to be empowered to stand for right as well.
And what I can ask, what is empowered society? What's an empowered society? I believe both boys and girls are equally in a society that they should propel themselves forward. Because for me, there's no difference between a boy and a girl than one has a penis and one has a vagina. The workload should be carried. However, biblically, it's a man to make sure same family is maintained. Yeah. And
Randy, wouldn't you say that in the past it was normally the boys who had all the privileges? It was the boys, even when you look on, say they're doing exams to go to high school. Sometimes the boys' grades would be lower, but they would get to go to the top schools because they said boys develop later. So from there in basic school, girls are normally at a disadvantage. All right?
I don't believe that. So, I disagree with that.
And we can disagree, no problem.
I disagree with
but
that.
The point I'm trying to make though is that because of all of this, mothers and fathers, they have always been trying to say to their girls, you have to work twice as hard. You have to be twice as good, right? To get all of that. And you have to now grow up to be independent. Mothers who have been living in abusive relationships and they don't want that for the girls. They say, baby, you have to study hard in school. You have to go to university. You have to get that job. And that is why I think Sabrina is saying girls are being grown up in an empowered society. Because she's saying girls have always been taught that you have to do better, that you have to be financially responsible so that you don't have to be dependent on men.
And that is it. That is it, you know. You hit the nail right on the head. It's all about a financial control. You see, man of the concept said, because I am bringing the money, he might have done. But it not go so. It does not go that way. Not because you are the financier of the relationship, make you the done. Because if your woman has a child at home and is teaching your child while you're out there working, according to the Bible, yeah? By the sweat of your brow you shall eat bread. A man should toil for his family. However, that does not give you legislative right over the family.
Okay.
It doesn't. It is, as we say, a relationship is two becoming one. Because I can work the money and don't have the sensibility to spend the money.
Yeah.
I can finance everything in the house, but I can't save the money. This is where the woman comes in to balance you. But we are training our girls to say they are independent of men. They are not. We are totally dependent on each other. One cannot be without the other.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. I take your view.
Behind every good man, there's a woman. And behind every good woman, there is a man.
No, behind every good woman, I have no man.
Let's say.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? One way around. Hey, Claudia.
You guys have been talking about from your experiences.
But I'm saying to you that
I have been independent doing what I have been doing for years. No good man, no behind here, so nowhere.
Why
you have a good God behind you.
God is behind me. God is behind me. No good man.
I have a good God behind
me. So you're saying that you have never met a good man? Nowhere along the line of your 47 years.
Absolutes now.
No, I'm saying to you that behind every woman there's a good man. It does not mean that that man is yours, you know. You can have a best friend who is a guy who propels you to do everything you does.
No, you stretch it now.
No, I'm not stretch it. But I'm sure say, all right, look at it.
All right, Randy, just a question. Do you have a good woman behind you?
A lot. I can name some.
A single one that supports you and your children. Somebody that you can rely on all the time.
Of course.
Somebody that you respect.
So much so.
Somebody who you never hurt.
Never. Would never. I have no reason to. You have one Sigel Wilson, who
What
is
you
my
trying
friend
to
from.
what you trying to say, Pauline?
I'm trying
No,
to.
no, what she's
I'm,
going at is that guys only see persons who they are involved with as persons behind them. But I am not so sociopathic. Yes, ma'am. I know what is
okay.
right from wrong. Yes, I know that, hey, in life, you're going to have some people, and right now, most of my friends are married, mind you.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my friends are married, and it is deliberate. It is deliberate. You know why?
Why you can't trust yourself?
I trust myself. I trust myself so much right now. I could be Jesus' brother.
Yeah, my God.
Yes. No.
Oh, I don't.
You asked me, you want to know where I find him from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
I just want to come to the point where we understand that when we're in a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
it is it is a very very intimate process. It is something that should mean something. If you tell me that you love me, if you tell me you'll take care of me, there's no way in the back of my mind as a woman I should ever think of you one day hitting me or trying to kill me.
All right. Can I answer a
That
question?
should
Could you define love?
never come to my
Whatever
mind.
our definition of love is, whatever our
Yes.
definition of
What
love
is
is,
love?
if we
What
have
is
been
love?
in a relationship
Love
up
is
to the point
love.
where
All right, since we're moving to the biblical perspective, love according to 1 Corinthians 13. Read it.
Charity. Charity.
Love doesn't hate. It doesn't boast. There's so many things that love don't do. Just like how
But
Christ loved us.
but
It
ladies
is
like when the
endless.
man boast about them.
It doesn't boast. No, it
But
don't
ladies like when
envy.
their gentlemen boast about them.
I said, now the thing is that
Like
you know
what?
what Randy and Pauline keep on doing is showing me all the different topics that we need to talk about. And because I really want, we have gone about 50 minutes, and I really want us to concrete the point I'm making. I think we have been kind of edging to it, but we haven't yet gone there, right? But I think I'm getting a feel from all of you that under no circumstance should a man, when a relationship is over, try
Whether man
to
or
cause
woman.
harm,
Whether
whether
man
it
or
be a
woman.
marriage relationship
All right.
or any type of relationship. I hear Sabrina is saying again, there is a certain power in our sons and daughters being taught about equity, and I think that is what Randy was saying. Our society has placed men and their ability above woman's ability, and thus we have a lot of work to do. But it's
I
true,
don't believe that.
Randy. That is a
I
proven
don't
fact.
believe that.
May I say
Our
something?
the prime minister
Well,
before Andrew
Randy, what
was
you saying, Kedroy? Kedroy? What you saying?
Yeah, I am sensing too much competition, We're
that is
Not hearing
concerning
you
men and
clearly.
women, too much competition. I'm sensing too much competition
between male
between
and
men and
female.
women. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
The main thing we must understand is that for men hormones, our build up and how we are socialized is the main problem. It's not about who should not lay their hand on each other. Because if you look right now what's taking place among us, you have a lot of single parent mothers. You understand? And it has to do with why you have so many mothers with the child alone. So something is wrong.
Slavery.
Something
Slavery.
men are being set up,
Slavery.
right? And the thing about that now, we realize that even for responsibility, men run away from those things. We run away from
No.
it and
They
feel
were never taught to take responsibility. We have parents who cover for boys all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
We have parents who said, or who says, it's not my pin to do it. Yeah? That
same
is
Yeah.
time
where the
Well, I know.
responsibility
Well, I
comes
know.
in.
we
Yeah.
are being told that
Yeah?
this is our
Because
role.
Kenroy,
But
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. I grew up with a mother who, if I step out of the line, she not cover for me.
Mm.
Claudia can tell you about my mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? I have grown up with a woman who have so much hate and love at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
My daddy hurt my mom till me realize that at the age of 12 that if I don't be me for me, I will be end up like my dad in my mother's eye.
Okay.
Yeah. And that propel me to be who I am today. Yes.
You know, I love the point you're making, Randy and Kedroy. It is what you see as you're growing up that will kind of determine who you become.
Yes, because if you're not taught to love a woman, you'll tell her you love her, but you never know how to show it. Yeah. If you're not taught as a child how to show love, you can't reciprocate it. No matter how much love you get. Some of women say we love, but it's only sex.
All right, good. I love that point, Randy. And the point I was making with Pauline earlier this week is that a lot of mothers stay in abusive relationships, and their children, their boys or their daughters, are seeing that, and that is what they're learning. So when they become adults, I saw my mother being hit every day. So it's no problem if I hit mine because my mother went through that.
And Claudia, if they want to read my blog, because my blog has something to do with this. And if you know, in terms of violence against women and some of the information that I pick up, actually it's just what children live. It's a cultural environment. I can speak for myself. As I said, my home, my parents will have heated arguments, and then the same person, they just have a cup of tea and the two of them laughing on the veranda. It's that's what I am used to. So when you have somebody who wants to control everything that you do, and somebody wants to dictate where you go, and somebody who wants to ridicule you in a particular way, as women, we're going to look and say, well, I did not grow up like that.
But you have women, all you're saying there, you know, you have both men and women who are like that.
Yes.
You have women who are in relationship who have a stranglehold on the relationship. You see, the command factor of a relationship is mutual. It shouldn't be a woman telling a man what to do and a man telling a woman what to do. It should be something that flows. Yeah? It should be something that is so cohesive that my spouse can sign off on something without even calling me.
So you have that mutual trust. All right.
Yes.
So we're editing nearly into we have 56 minutes, only 4 minutes to go. So I just want to get the final word from everybody, because I think we have kind of gotten to a conclusion that everybody on the panel here is saying the men in our society that are acting a particular way, maybe it's because of socialization, it's because of what happened when they were growing up, what they observed.
Economic status as well.
Right. Okay. Yes. All right. Although we know that is on either aisle, whether you're from a rich environment, a poor environment, a middle income environment, we are all being
bad girls like
right. The abuse goes.
Bad girls like good guys, and good girls like bad guys. Just remember that.
So, but that will be another discussion. That's another discussion.
We are attracted to our total opposite.
We are.
Yes, we are. A girl who grows in a home where
I don't know who grow Randy, you know.
No, but that's what we see every day. It's what we see every day. We are attracted to the opposite.
I don't know who grow you. That's not.
I'm going to stop with that thing. I'm going to ask Kedroy, just your final word on the topic. And do you think that good girls are only attracted to guys that
bad
are not going to be good to them? All right, Kedroy, your turn. Final words.
I mentioned earlier that you see, ladies, wives, women in general should take their male, the son to church from them born. And one of the
Thank you very much.
Ladies I know this. A lot of ladies don't want church.
I hope you don't realize that Randy they church from him born,
But the I agree with Randy with something in a way, A lot of females don't like. Because I approached female before and they would have said, you're too churchish,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You're too good.
A lot of females
too good to be true.
Because they say them too soft and emotional and all those things. But the thing about in church, we can express ourselves. Nobody beats us. If we cry or something like that, it's not so as if when we are outside, we're not supposed to cry or we're not supposed to express ourselves in a particular way.
Yeah.
Crying is natural. Crying is an emotion.
Young men to church now, trust me.
Okay. All right. Thank,
I
thank
tell
you.
my
Thank
boys
you.
it's
Thank
okay
you.
to cry.
Randy, hold on. You'll get your chance. Tarika, final words.
For me, like I said before, we have a lot of issues that we need to deal with from
Mm-hmm.
slavery to knowing how to communicate. We don't do that very well.
Mm-hmm.
And that is our bottom line. We need to communicate because all this killing, it's feelings from maybe small, very small things that has happened over time,
I don't
maybe a
know.
relationship that has built up to
Mm-hmm.
the feather that broke the camel's back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because they're not
Yeah.
possessions, we should not be. It's a relationship, it's a partnership. And if you decide to go your own way, you should be able to sit down and talk about
Go.
why you're going, let the person understand why you're going, and you go.
Yeah.
Go.
I think also, Tarika, when you have been in a relationship with a while, for somebody with for a while, you know what you should be you do. I think sometimes as women we have to open our eyes and see because when you let me just say, I think we know who we marry. And if you're going to be in the house and you're going to say, I think I'm going to leave, I think you can kind of gauge his reaction with other little things. So one thing I will say to women, if you have gotten to the conclusion that you think this relationship is over, uh, be very smart as to how you leave the relationship. Because you sitting down and having a conversation with somebody who you may have found to be irrational, and that is why you're saying the relationship can't continue. Don't expect
Third
them to
party.
be rational while you're telling them that this
Third
relationship is
party.
over. You
Get a
need to
third
be in a
party.
space, yeah, you need to be in a space where it is not just the both of you together. We need to start being smart.
That
I kind
means
of
We,
that
made
we
that
should have
mistake.
an
I
understanding of
kind of
who
made
we're
that
with.
mistake, and I was in a situation that was not very good, and so I am saying that now from experience. We can't be closing off a relationship in a point where we are alone with the individual
which is
because
right. This is why
things
we
may
have
happen.
counseling. This is
Things
why
may
we have
happen.
counseling, Claudia.
Mm.
Claudia, this is
Yeah.
why we have counseling. We go to a
Mm.
counseling session and
Yeah.
you put the beans out there and they get sorted out. If we
Mm.
can't continue, we agree to separate. Yeah?
Yeah.
The Bible
Yeah.
says, if two can walk the one path,
Mm-hmm.
separate.
One go one way and next one go the next
Yes.
way.
All right.
And
Good. Good.
to
Good.
separate, to be separated one from
Mm-hmm.
another is
Mm-hmm.
good
Yeah.
because you know that I know that, hey, you can't manage it. So you give up.
Yeah.
And we
This is
need
not
to
how life should be lived. This is not
teach
how
our
life should be
children
lived.
that the decision is not just yours, it's a
Mm-hmm.
mutual decision.
All right.
Yes, you tell him say you go left. And him not gonna take it same time. But say to him say, have a minute, think about it. Tell me what you would have changed right now to make me stay.
Mm-hmm.
What can you do to change my mind from going?
Mm.
But if we can't have rational conversation, we can't have rational breakups.
Ah, I love that point. If you're arguing, fussing, and fighting every day, you need to
Yeah,
you have to expect that something going to go on when we say we're gonna
and
leave.
a block of time.
So you need to put things in place to protect yourself and your family. All right.
Automatically.
Yeah, yeah. All right, O'Brien, your final words, and then Pauline will end the evening because Randy just gave his final paragraph.
All right. I must say that this has been a lesson to me. It has taught me a lot, but above all else, I strongly believe that a lot of young men out there are truly struggling because of the foundation by which they were grown up. And
Okay.
because of that, I strongly encourage every relationship to be a patient one in which you exercise time to know someone before you engage in a relationship with that person.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't take note of those fine prints that the person might be showing, saying, say, you appear aggressive, you deal with him, family, them away and all of that. And you just by seeing him say, him look nice and, in treatment nice, you don't really pay attention to the crucial things.
Yeah, because you're in
Chances are,
love.
yes, chances are you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the stick. And
Yeah.
in the same way, I can say this, that it's not just from a men's perspective. Women are being grown to be strong individuals and sometimes independent and not. And even in this application that they're being taught by parents also, they strongly believe that they can actually make it through without any sort of help. And the truth is, it's by both man and woman, joined together in different ways. It doesn't necessarily have to be a relationship, that we are able to help each other. You might not think of it as much. A man might not have the brains, but he might have the muscle to get a job done. A woman might have the it's all cohesive, as Randy included. And so we
Yeah.
have to learn to be able to know each other and be able to work together in order to achieve a prosperous relationship, I would say.
And I'm happy for your comment, O'Brien, as a young man who I don't know if you have found your lady yet, but in search of that, but you know you're not married yet. In search of that married relationship, you're saying you're looking right now in whatever relationship for all the signs so that you're not surprised. But let me just say, as Rand would say, I would say, Pauline would say, Tarika would say, Ked Roy will say, because we've all been married, some of us not married anymore, is that even you won't see all the things. O'Brien, you will not see all the things. There are some things that will only be unveiled or revealed after you are married. So it is now stand to your faith and what it is and so on to see, are we able to live with this? Are we able to work through this together? Or are we going to not continue? But I will say, as a Christian and as a yeah, woman of God, even though my relationship did not work out, I always say it all stands to how much you love each other, how much you're all working together with God in the center to see if this thing will continue to stand. So that's what I'll say to you. And Pauline, you'll have the final word while I talk to my seventh panelist who has been throughout the conversation. Sabrina, thank you. She's saying you should know yourself first, and and then afterward, you know what you are able to take and what you're willing to give up. But first, you have to know yourself first. All right, Pauline, your final words from you.
I I agree with the last young man who spoke, and I would add to that to say that it's important that we understand what it means to possess the fruit of the spirit. And if
Yes.
we're able to love and we're able to forgive, forgiveness is so important. And if we are able to live amicable as one, then we're able to work out any problem. Communication too is critical. And the foundation of our love should be Christ-like. Hence,
Mm-hmm.
that if we love each other
Mm-hmm.
without thinking that we want to change the next person to be the to remold them, like we're the potters, like a pottery in a pottery, then we'll
Yeah.
understand that we are about accepting the person as he or she is. So the way I saw you when I met you in college and what the characteristic that you had that draw me to you, I shouldn't want to change those. They should still mean something because it was what initially attracted me to you in the first place. So
Yeah.
learning to acceptance is very critical, and understanding the person. And when we develop a stage of communication, then you'll see what you like and what you dislike, and you'll try to understand, is this something that I can live with over the years
Mm-hmm.
before I
Yeah.
enter into a deeper relationship. But
Mm-hmm.
we enter into the deeper relationship knowing that we have those issues that we don't like, and then we come to the point where we want to change a person. No, it's either you accept the person as he or she is, or you say, look here, these qualities are not the qualities I'm looking for. I like our friendship, let our friendship remain as friendship. So we
Mm-hmm.
don't take it any further. But if we
Yeah.
intend to go further, accept, forgive, and learn to live by the fruits of the Spirit. That's what I would say.
Great. I thank you so much for that, Pauline. And let me just say, I'm officially inviting Randy and Pauline to my program next week, Wednesday. official inviting both of you. So you send me a WhatsApp to let me know if you're willing. And let me just thank
After
Kedroy.
Bible study, Claudia, I
Yeah,
have
man,
Bible
I
study.
understand. I understand. So I want to thank Kedroy. Your points were well made, and we understand that perspective that there are a lot of women out there sometimes that they don't see the good that is before them until it's too late. O'Brien, continue your search with God in the midst of it all, so that you find the right individual that will take you through this life together as you build your life together. Thank you, Tariko, for making your points. And I think you you are saying to us that communication is the key, and we need to understand each other and understand what we are standing for. All right. And thank you, Pauline and Randy. Thank you. You are two strong individuals with I think you're saying basically some of the same things, but it's from the man's point of view and the lady's point of view. And I thank both of you for that. And I see Randy came back into the conversation. You want to say your final words, Randy?
Guys, thank you very much for having me. I've learned some things, but there are some things that are still out there that we need to discuss more
Yes.
as male and female,
Yes.
and get to understand each other better.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as Pauline said, that we're not supposed to try to change our spouses. However, we do that on a daily basis because we want them to be like us or just what we
Mhm.
want. But with
Mhm.
Christ in the vessel, we smile at the storms. All right.
All right. I think that those words will help us for next week Wednesday. So next week Wednesday, Randy, same time, you and Pauline will come on and I'll tell you what the topic will be. Because I like the interchange. And yeah, Randy said, Pauline, we change our spouse every day. And that is something that it happens for true because we change in different ways. Well, thank you
Mhm.
everyone for making it C&J Let We Talk. We meet every weekday at 7:30 on this same platform. So subscribe, hit your notification bells, and be here because remember at CNJ Let we talk about different topics every day. But remember, these topics are there to educate, inform, and encourage you. So see you next time as I bring on different individuals to help me to discuss different topics. We were looking on strong men and strong women in our society. How can they get along? You heard their views. See you tomorrow as we discuss another topic where I will be talking with Scotty. So tomorrow is CNJ and Scotty for another discussion. See you then. Bye for now. Bye. And thank
Bye,
you,
Claudia.
everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for having me.